Today, I want to answer a question nobody asks. When you've got low back pain, tight hips, and a body that feels like it's in a straitjacket, the question isn't which muscle do I stretch? The question is, why did your body decide to shut down those muscles in the first place? Because here's what I've learned after my own knee surgery and after mapping this with my clients. The problem is almost never the muscle that hurts. The problem is the order things shut down. And once you understand that order, the restart happens in reverse. So today I'm going to walk you through the whole thing, what I have here mapped out on this board, the symptom, the wrong fix, the exact cascade. So let's talk about it. Number one, we got the symptom. Let's start with what you actually feel. I'm going to use my own story here because it's the clearest example that I have for you. After my knee surgery, I had three things going on at once. A low back that ached deep, the kind that wakes you up at 3 in the morning. Hips so tight they felt locked, like they never let go, no matter how much I stretched. And this overall stiffness, this guarding feeling that I had, like my whole body was wrapped in a straitjacket. And here's the part that used to drive me crazy. I'd stretch, and for a day it would feel better. I felt great. Then it would snap right back to tightness, same pain. Now here's the key, and I want you to really sit with this. When multiple areas hurt at once, you rarely are looking at multiple separate problems. You're looking at one system that's compensating. That's the reframe that changes everything. It's not a collection of broken parts. It's the one thing shutting down and the rest of the body scrambling to cover for it. So what does everyone tell you to do? It's the same 3 steps every single time. Stretch the tight muscle, strengthen the weak muscle, and when it comes back, which it always does, do it again and harder. And what happens? It fails. Not because you're doing it wrong, because it's built on a false premise. Here's the distinction that most people never get. There's a difference between a muscle that is tight and a muscle that's offline. A tight muscle is a length problem. It's short, you stretch it, it lengthens, problem solved. An offline muscle is a signaling problem. The nervous system has stopped using it, so you can stretch it all day, and the second you stop, the nervous system puts it right back to where it was. Because the reason it's shut down hasn't changed. It's like stretching the QL when the problem is higher up. It's like turning off the fire alarm while the fire is still burning. The alarm being your lower back. The fire is the shutdown happening further up the chain. So weak and tight, those are just symptoms. They're not the cause. The root cause is a muscle your nervous system has stopped using, and that's where the shutdown cascade begins. Here we have the cascade, and this is the centerpiece of the whole entire thing. And I want to watch you have this flow, because once you see the order, everything starts to click. Starts with a trigger: surgery, chronic stress, an old injury, poor sleep, anything that tells your nervous system we're under threat. Now, when that happens, step number 1, your diaphragm locks up. It stops moving through its full range of motion. That's the first domino, and it's huge because the diaphragm isn't just a breathing muscle, it's the anchor that everything below it hangs off of. So when the diaphragm locks up, step number 2, the psoas goes offline next. Now the psoas attaches directly to the diaphragm. So it's the first muscle downstream, and here's what nobody tells you. The psoas is one of your primary spine stabilizers. When it goes offline, your body just lost its main way of holding you upright. But your body still has to stand. It still has to hold you against gravity. So what happens next in step number 3? It recruits the next muscle, and it's the QL. Now, your QL is doing the 2 jobs, its own plus the psoas's. It's like using a rope to hold up a bridge that was supposed to be held by steel. And the QL is the muscle that wakes athletes up at 3 in the morning, or busy professionals, or anybody who sits at a desk all day, like I mentioned, finds themselves with that deep chronic low back ache. So step 4, the low back screams, and that's the part you feel. That's the alarm going off. Now here's the teaching point that matters more than anything else in this video. The shutdown happened in order, so diaphragm, then the psoas, then the QL. So the restart needs to happen in reverse. And the entry point is almost never where the pain is. If you treat the QL, the last link of the chain, you're fighting the end of the chain instead of the start of it. Now, how do we reverse it? Step number 1, we breathe first. Here's how you restart it. Reset the diaphragm. This is the first link in the chain, so it's the first thing you fix. If the diaphragm is locked, everything below, it stays offline. no matter how hard you train. And this is where I want you to be precise. Breath isn't just relaxation, it's a neurological reset. When you restore rib cage movement, rebuild that intra-abdominal pressure, IAP, excuse me, and get the nervous system back into a parasympathetic, a rest and digest state, you're literally re-signaling the body that it's safe to turn the chain back on. You don't strengthen your way out of a locked diaphragm, you signal your way out. And that's step number one. Step number two, we have waking up the psoas. This is the muscle most people, including a lot of people you go to for treatment, get wrong. They see a tight hip flexor and they stretch it. But 9 times out of 10, the psoas isn't tight. It's just offline. It's guarding, not short. So the stretch makes it actually tighter because you're asking a shut down muscle to lengthen and it just protects hard. It's not weak, it's offline. And there's a big difference. A weak muscle can be trained, an offline muscle won't respond to the training until you re-signal it. So step 2 isn't about stretching the psoas, it's about re-establishing it as your primary spine stabilizer. Turning the light back on, not pulling on a muscle that the circuit breaker already tripped. Next, we're going to give the QL its job back. Here's the thing that you never do. Work directly on the QL, because the QL isn't the problem, it's the victim. It's been doing 2 jobs the whole time, but here's what's beautiful about the cascade. Once the psoas is back online, the QL doesn't need to compensate anymore. You restore the muscles above it, and the QL naturally releases it. That's the second job. It settles back into its real role, side bending and stabilization, instead of holding up a bridge it wasn't meant to hold alone. So you don't fix the QL by working on the QL. You fix it by restoring everything above it. Order here matters. Step number 4, we're going to load in the right order. This is where most people blow it and where I blew it for years. The muscles are finally back online and they immediately go straight to heavy weight. But a body that was just offline isn't ready for max load. That's how you stay stuck. The correct sequence is stability, then strength, then power. Stability first, the muscles are online and coordinating with each other. Then strength, you load the now connected chain. Then power, you return to athletic explosive movement. Skip straight to step number 3, and you're loading a chain that isn't connected yet. It's like turning on the light before the circuit breaker is reset. Nothing happens. You don't strengthen your way out of this. You signal your way out. Then you load. Step number 5. We got to make it a system because that's what I learned the hard way. There's no one magic exercise. If someone tells you there's a single stretch or a single lift that fixes everything, please let me know because they're selling you a fix, and fixes don't hold. The order is the system. Shutdown happens in order, restart happens in reverse. Then you load progressively. It's not a flexibility problem, it's a nervous system regulation problem. Once you understand that, and once you see your own cascade, you stop chasing symptoms and you start fixing the pattern. That's the entire model. Trigger, diaphragm, psoas, QL, pain, and then in reverse, the restart. So here, this is where I ended up. From a straitjacket, surgery, bad back, locked hips, guarded movement, to moving athletically and being the strongest I've ever been. And not in spite of the surgery, because of what it forced me to finally fix. It's the reason I built this system, because I lived the shutdown and I mapped the restart. So if any of you have something going on where this sounds like your body, if you're dealing with the bad back, the tight hips, the feeling of being locked up and not being able to move freely anymore, the entry point is almost never where the pain is. And I can show you where yours started. Send me a DM with the word restore, or click the link below and book a one-on-one call. Fix your pain, find your purpose again,